All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, a little birdie tells me that Gervonta Davis will be fighting somebody that a lot of y'all ain't gonna like, but yet he's gonna be making a lot of money to do it, and it will not be his choice. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where the big boxing's big cash cow is free and clear to fight now, and it looks as if he will be fighting somebody that, at least this is what little birdies are telling me, will be ordered to fight. Somebody that people do a lot of complaining about. However, y'all know full well y'all about to watch the fight, and that is Issac Cruz, the former challenger to Gervonta Davis's title. But this may not be Gervonta Davis's choice, but you know how that works. Let's talk about that in this video. But before we do talk about it, let me thank you so much for continuing to watch the videos. If you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you very much. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, hitting the like button, all of that good stuff if you like the content. All right, so you know that everybody wants to know who Gervonta Davis is fighting next. You have people wanting him to fight Terrence Crawford at 147 pounds. You have them wanting them to fight Shakur Stevenson at 135, or Vasily Lomachenko, or to move up to fight 100 at the 140-pound title against who knows who's up there. I don't know, Teofimo Lopez or Devin Haney has a lot of titles at 135. However, at present, he's going up to 140. I believe he's going up to 140 anyway, to fight Regis Prograis. They said they're still working some things out in that deal. Not sure what should be taking this long, but hey, man, we'll see what happens at the end of it and whether he fights him or not. However, Gervonta Davis's trainer had said that he wanted to fight Issac Cruz next. Issac Cruz is a good fighter who just had a bad performance in a fight that took place on the undercard of the Errol Spence Jr. Versus Terrence Crawford. I do believe it was on the undercard of Errol Spence Jr. versus Terrence Crawford. Man, the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight was so severe. Like, I forgot what was on the undercard, but I'm pretty sure that was Issac Cruz that was on that card, fighting like a 5'11" lightweight and throwing a bunch of wild hooks, and won the fight, but just didn't look good in the fight, right? However, here's the thing. Issac Cruz is more than likely going to fight Gervonta Davis next because the WBA is going to order it. What I did a video before talking about the relationship between Terrence Crawford and Jaron Ennis and why it's really not nobody's choice as to whether or not Jaron Ennis deserves a fight with Terrence Crawford, as long as Terrence Crawford is holding that IBF championship belt. Jaron Ennis deserves that shot. He's the mandatory. That's just what it is. That's how the rules work. Well, Issac Cruz is the #1 ranked guy in the WBA. For some reason, don't doubt that somebody that has a lot of clout may have try to put their finger on the scale to get him there. But whatever the case is, he's the #1 ranked guy in the WBA. Gervonta Davis is the WBA world champion, and yeah, he is. People can say that he's not a champion all you want. That man has the traditional belt held by WBA champions all the way back until when it was established in the 1960s. And he has the one thing that champions are supposed to have, and that is a mandatory that they must defend. And seeing as the mandatory has not been defended by Gervonta Davis, hasn't had a mandatory since the year before last, 2021. There you go. That is why you're going to get that mandatory fight out of Issac Cruz. Rolly Romero there you go. It's been over a year. Actually, the mandatory was not in 2021. It was supposed to be in 2021, but the mandatory took place this will be his third fight after his last mandatory. Rolly Romero in last year in, May or in June. So he had 2 fights, and one in the first month, January of 2023, and he had another one in April of 2023. Well, guess what? The mandatory is now due again, provided that they actually order the fight to take place. And because he's the WBA champion and they do that once a year, they could order that fight as of right now. So more than likely, I'm told what is going to happen is that the WBA is going to order a mandatory fight with Issac Cruz, and that will satisfy Gervonta Davis's mandatory. And that is the right of Issac Cruz if Issac Cruz is able to petition, not activate, petition to become the mandatory. Now, what do I think about the fight? I think the fight will make a lot of money because Issac Cruz has a big Mexican fan base. And that is something that is going to make a lot of money for Gervonta Davis. Is it a tremendously competitive fight? I think it's a fight that could go 12 rounds, and I do think that it could be that there's danger in that fight to Gervonta Davis. I do believe that there's danger in that particular fight for Gervonta Davis. I don't think Issac Cruz is going to win, but I think Issac Cruz may go the distance again because of how small he is, how compact he is, and how tight he stays in. Now that Gervonta Davis has seen him more than one time, he has a better game plan, knows what he's looking at, because the last time he fought him, he was a relatively late replacement for Rolly Romero. However, he went the distance last time. A whole lot of people thought, at least they said, I don't know if they really thought it or not, but they did let it out their mouth that they believed that Gervonta had been exposed and all of that. And so I don't mind it. And here's the other thing. The other fights that are the really intriguing fights where you don't know what's going on, what would happen, where many people would be able to argue about what they think the outcome would be. Those fights can't take place. One is Devin Haney is at 140 pounds now, and we'll see if he ever returns. Shakur Stevenson's over there at Top Rank. And Bob Arum already said that he's not trying to make a fight with Shakur Stevenson. The other fighters are fights like guys like Edwin De Los Santos. Who else is out there? Keyshawn Davis is way too young. There is Frank Martin. Frank Martin would be a good fight as well. However, it looks like, because of the way that the sanctioning bodies are lined up, it looks like Frank Martin may be getting his shot at a title against Shakur Stevenson before the WBC title, because Vasily Lomachenko is not going to fight Shakur Stevenson for it. And I do believe the other guy that's ranked high there is Issac Cruz, and Issac Cruz is trying to get the Gervonta Davis fight. So that fight looks like that's there for Frank Martin. So two of the guys that people want to see fight, they might be fighting each other. All in all, man, I don't mind the fight. I know that there's going to be a certain number of fighters, people that are just going to complain and say, yeah, that's another nobody that Gervonta is fighting. I don't agree with that, because I think Ryan Garcia didn't become a nobody until after he lost, and Hector Garcia that's a case of just because you don't know don't mean it ain't true. Hector Garcia can fight, man. Hector Garcia can fight. That dude is a real threat in that ring with the people that he fights. That's not a bum. That he moved up from 130 pounds, but so did Gervonta. It's a good fight. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.